Hello, Mister. So today I'm going to be presenting and showing you my evidence, this barbecue at home that I was planning. So let's start. So first we have the project charter, which I chose, in which the sections that were needed to be included were the objective, the scope, both in and out, the stakeholders, and the success criteria. Basically, the objective is to organize a barbecue with my friends at my house over the course of 1 week in order to celebrate the conclusion of our third semester to make it happen on Friday, December 5th, 2025, after we finish all of our classes. Then for the inner scope, we have to purchase food and beverages, cooking the food, buying missing equipment, games and activities, setting up the backyard, clean the area, and eating the food. And finally, and then for the out scope, will be to not we don't have to hire an external catering service since we are going to be the ones cooking the barbecue, and then we also don't need to hire an external cleaning service because we are also going to be cleaning. Then for the success criteria, we I chose food quality, time, budget, and assistance. So for food quality, the foods and sides are going to be prepared safely and correctly, being enjoyed by all the guests. For the time, the event is going to be planned in a time manner and carried out at the designated date and also designated time. Then the expenses remain within estimated budget, including the reserves. And finally, for assistance, all of the guests will be present in the event. And finally, for the stakeholders, so we have the event organizer, who is me, the guests, the supermarkets, who can be considered as the suppliers. So the places that we're going to be buying our our supplies, let's say our ingredients and everything, and or the food that we're going to use for the barbecue. And finally, the parents of the guests, since the guests will need to ask their parents for money in order to buy the different stuff for the barbecue. Then we have the working cost. Well, the working cost breakdown structure. I divided it into three levels. Level one is the project itself, barbecue at home. Then level two, I divided it into five different phases: organization, purchase of resources, preparation, execution, and cleaning. And finally, for level three, the different tasks for each of the phases. For phase one, organization, we have to set the day, assign responsibilities, and decide on the budget. For phase two, purchase of resources, is the tasks are buying food, to buy the drinks, buy supplies, and buy the sites. Then for preparation, phase three, proper storage of foods, clean backyard, setting up the area, and entertainment preparation, like music and stuff like that. Then for phase four is execution, cooking the food, serving the drinks, serving the food, and also carrying out games and activities. And finally, for phase five, cleaning, washing grill, collecting the trash, and finally cleaning the area. And also in this WBS, I also included the different costs for each of the that were going to be present in some of the areas, in most of the areas actually. And as you can see, the for phase two, purchase of resources, the expenses are going to be 1,422 pesos, which is divided into 585 to buy the food, 192 to buy the drinks, 384 to buy supplies. By supplies, I mean like charcoal or stuff like that, and also 335 to buy sites. Then the other phase that I included, in which there are some costs included, are for cleaning. The whole phase costs $40, and then washing the grill costs $20 because of the soap and stuff, and then collecting the trash. Also, $20 for the bags, like the trash bags, and then the whole project at all would cost 1,831 pesos. Then we go on with the schedule. First, we have the Gantt diagram, and as I don't know if I already mentioned, but if I hadn't had to, if I hadn't already mentioned it, I'm going to be this barbecue is going to be planned like from the day it is planned to the day that it carries out. There is a week from Friday to Friday. So in this case, the first phase organization starts at November 27th, Friday, November 27th, and then it goes all the way to December 5, which is the day that that the barbecue will take place. As I said, phase one is November 27th. Then starts phase two, starting from November 28th, for buying the supplies. But it's the the longest phase, and it happens all the way to December 3rd, in which we start to include to buy the drinks. In December 2nd, in December 3rd, we buy the food, since it's the one that is like the it's preferably the one that's going to be bought the closest to the event date, and then buying the sites as well. Then phase three starts preparation, and these all take place December 4th. Then in December 5th, it's a time, sorry, where it's the date where the barbecue takes place. So everything that has to do with cooking the food, serving the drinks, and the different games and activities will take place on this date. And also the cleaning phase also takes place after the phase four's ends. So washing the grill, cleaning the area, and stuff like that, they all take place on December 5th, and it's the date where the project ends. It's carried out and ends. And then we have the different dependencies in order to make the network diagram. So this the duration of these activities, of these tasks, are in days. That's why I put like zero point 0.3 days, so not like the entirety of the date. Basically, because we only have like 9 days, 1 week, what, like 2 weeks, sorry, like 1 week and 2 days. And yeah, that's why they're like mostly in decimals, but they are in days format. So they only take like some part of the day in order to be carried out. And then after we did the dependencies, we have the network diagram, and it's pretty linear. I like how this beginning phase is pretty linear. You have the set the day, assign responsibilities, decide the budget, and then the this like for tasks, buying the food, buying the drinks, buy supplies, and buy the sites, are dependent on deciding the budget, because basically, depending on how much budget we are going to be deciding on, um, we will buy certain things or not for the we will decide what to buy and what to not buy for the barbecue. Then they all continue with the storage of the food, then cleaning the backyard, then setting up the area, and then they once again they branch to entertainment preparation, cooking the food, and serving the drinks. First, for entertainment preparation, that goes to games and activity. Then the cooking the food branches to serving the food and washing the grill. And finally, serving the drinks goes directly to collect the trash, which is the one that is the next from all the three different branches. And then after collecting the trash, the final activity, cleaning the area. So after doing the calculations about the network diagram, and also the dependencies, and the deciding how much time each task will take, the critical path would be set the day. Task A, set the day. Then B, assign responsibilities. C, decide on a budget. F, buy supplies. H, storage of food. I, clean the backyard. J, set up the area. L, cooking the food. N, serving the food. Q, collecting the trash. And R, cleaning the area. And as you can check on the different on the during the network diagram, these all the days of slack like are all zero in all these phases. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, but all the days of slacks in all these doing all these activities are zero. That's why they're the critical path of the project. Then we go on to the budget, and as you probably saw on the WBS and the CBS, only two phases require some expenses, which are the purchases phase two, purchases of resources, and phase five, sorry, cleaning. So for the purchases of resources, I included like what different things, like food, drinks, the sides, and the supplies, like charcoal, disposable cups, and ice. And since they're all in the same phase, they all add up. Um, and then the same for the phase five. So the budget for this, how do you say? I'm sorry. This barbecue is 1,900 pesos, and from this 1,900 pesos, 10% will be for the management reserve, which is going to be like a reserve in case like we need to use it. Like for example, we need to buy or we need to buy like more food since if some food is missing or if some food goes to waste, so we need to buy some more. And also in each phase, in each of the two phases, the contingency reserve, which is 5% from the total budget, and also I divided it into two. That's why it's going to be $47.5 for each. And then after doing the calculations, the subtotal, sorry, the subtotal is 1,641 pesos plus the management reserve, which is 190, gives a total of it gives a total of 1,831 pesos, which is just below from that budget, which I believe is a good sign. Then there is the procurement plan, um, and I chose, and these were the like the five, how do you say, the five elements that require like acquisition, let's say: the food, the beverages, the size, the supplies. And the supplies I divided into charcoal and ice. For food, I have steak, chicken, and sausages. For beverages, drinks and water. For sides, avocado and chips. And also, as I already said, supplies, charcoal, and ice. So for all of them, since they're going to be bought from a store, from a supermarket store, the contract type is fixed, and some supplier options are Walmart and HEB for the food, General and Soriana for the beverages, Walmart and Soriana for sides, Walmart and Soriana for supplies for the chocolates specifically, and OXO or Super Cool for the ice. Then we go on to the risk management, in which we have two different matrices, well, two different tables: the risk severity matrix and the risk plan. First, we have the risk severity matrix, in which there is the impact and the probability of one of these risks from happening. So I identified five different risks that could happen for this during the whole planning process of this barbecue, and I have someone that bring in what they were assigned to, which is takes can happen a lot of time. Also, bad weather, then food spoilage due to poor storage, running out of food and drinks during the event, and not enough charcoal during the event. So these are all different risks, that negative risks that can um, impact like the carrying out of the whole barbecue. And then for each of the risks, I assign an impact and how much they would impact the negatively impact the event, and a probability for each of them. And based on I placed them on the risk severity matrix, I transported them to the risk plan. What we're going to do in order to, well, how are we going to react um, on behalf of these risks? So, for example, the highest risk, the risk with the highest value is someone not bringing what they were assigned. So the strategy I chose is to mitigate, and during the week, and the action that in order to mitigate it is during the week, keep remembering everyone what they need to bring. Then the same for the different risks. Bad weather, accept. Check weather apps in the days prior to know the weather during the day. Then running out of food and drinks, avoid. Go to the stores to buy more food and drinks with the management reserve. Then food spoilage due to poor storage, avoid. Periodically check if the food is in the right conditions while storage, and not enough charcoal, avoid. Go to the stores to buy more with the management reserve. Then we have the communication plan. How are we going to communicate through the with the different stakeholders of the event? First, the host, and well, in this case, since I'm the host, they're not going to be communicating with me, but instead I'm going to be communicating with the rest of the stakeholders. In this case, the guests, mostly. And then, so the communication type will be instant message, and the objective is to invite, like to make the invitations and to remind everyone about the responsibilities and what they need to bring for the barbecue. The format is through WhatsApp, since it's the one, since like um, would be the easiest format to communicate, and it will be like a daily frequency in order to keep remembering for everyone to buy what you need to buy in order to bring it to the event. Then we have the guests, which are the ones that are mostly connected to the host. So the communication type would be instant message, and some like the objective would be to for them to constantly inform about they have already bought about what they were like for what they were assigned, and the format is WhatsApp as well, and this would be daily. Then for the supermarkets, the well, while it is not like we're not going to be communicating with the supermarket, they're part of the stakeholders since we're going to be going there in order to buy the different supplies for the event. So you could consider the communication type to be an in-store visit, and the objective is to purchase the food, to purchase the products, and the format is well in person, and this will only take place during November 28th to December and 3rd, which is the second phase where we need to buy all the different things for the barbecue. And finally, the parents of the guests, since they're going to be, well, the communication type is an instant message as well. And the objective is to inform them about needing money for purchases. Um, and then the format will be WhatsApp. And this will only take place on November 27th, the day where the whole event, like where the event planning starts. So as soon as I tell them, I invite all of my guests, they're going to inform to their parents. And that they need money in order to buy the different products for the barbecue. And finally, we have the quality plan. So I chose four different aspects of quality: budgeting, food, experience, and hygiene. So for budgeting, there is cost control and use of reserve, and the metrics that I'm going to be using in order to define this quality budgeting would be percentage of budget used and percentage of reserve used. So for the budget, at least 70% of the budget will be used, and then for the reserve use, less than 2%. If these are like if these are complied, like if these are, how do you say, like if we comply with these acceptance criteria metrics, then the budgeting quality of budgeting will be very high. Then for the quality of food, I chose to measure it through quantity, the doneness of the steak, of the chicken, of the sausages, and the service. So for the metrics, percentage of remaining food less than 5%, the temperature cook between 63 to 70 degrees Celsius, and then the serving time in less than 5 minutes in order for the food to still be hot while after when it's being served. Then the quality of experience. I chose the starting time and the attendance. So the time of start no more than 5 minutes, preferably after the designated time. And for the attendance, the percentage of present guests, at least 85% of guests are will be present in the event. And finally, for the quality of hygiene, I chose cleaning level and the percentage of guest satisfaction. That this takes place when in phase three, where the area is going to be clean. So if guests are satisfied with how clean the area was before the barbecue, then the quality of hygiene at least of 85% of guests are like, how do you say, like are satisfied with the cleaning level of the place, then quality of hygiene will be met. So finally, I have the reflection. So I throughout the this whole course, I learned that the project planning process is more tedious than I expected. I actually didn't know about the different steps that need to be carried out in order to plan a project accordingly. However, even if we were just like planning the project and not executing it, I do believe that for people who are actually like who professionally do this, they like using the different tools, they can create projects of a good quality and that can be successfully carried out. And finally, I personally believe the most useful tool like to me, is the work breakdown structure, basically because it is the base for all the different tools after that come after, for the cost breakdown structure, for the Gantt, for um, for the risks, for everything. Like the work breakdown structure to me is the one that it's the base for the it's the base of project planning, and therefore this is why it should be well developed from the beginning and clear for all the stakeholders of the project. And that would be all. Thank you so much for your attention.